Hi, this is the first video for week 2 trigonometry. This is the first of 10 videos for week 2 and covers Pythagoras Theorem. These videos are intended to help you to work through the online content for week 2. We recommend that you watch this video with your pen and paper and pause at the relevant times to try the examples for yourself. Pythagoras Theorem. Pythagoras Theorem states that in a right-angled triangle, the squares of the two smaller sides add together to find the square of the longer side. So we're saying a right-angled triangle is a triangle that has one 90-degree angle. We draw that with our square angle shape there to represent our 90 degrees. We're saying the two smaller sides. So here we have a 3, a 4, and here our longer side is 5. So we're saying the square of our shorter side. So the square of 3 is 9. The square of 4 is 16. And the square of 5 is 25. So we're saying 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to 5 squared. So we get 9 plus 16 is equal to 25. We add 9 and 16 together and we get 25 is equal to 25. So this Pythagoras theorem, here we have c squared equals a squared plus b squared. C squared is always our hypotenuse. It's opposite our right angle and it is the longest side of our triangle. Is equal to the square of A and the square of side B. Looking at example 1, we want to use Pythagoras theorem to calculate the length of the hypotenuse. So this is our hypotenuse, that's our C. We have A and we have B. We know C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. So here x squared is equal to 6 squared plus 8 squared. X squared is equal to 36 plus 64. So x squared is equal to 100. But this is not our length of our side, this is the square of our side. So here we need to undo our square by taking the square root. The square root of x squared leaves us with x, and the square root of 100 is 10. So for number 2, we want to use Pythagoras theorem to calculate the length of one of the shorter sides. So here's our right angle, this is our C. We have our A and our B. We know c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So our c squared is 18 squared, a squared is y squared, and b squared is 10 squared. So 18 squared gives us 324 is equal to y squared plus 100. We subtract 100 from each side and we end up with y squared is equal to 224. Taking the square root of both sides, we get y is equal to the square root of 224. Looking at example 2, now we want to prove that the triangle is right angled. So before we knew the right angle and we knew 2 side lengths. Now we know 3 side lengths. And if we prove c squared equals a squared plus b squared, then our triangle is right angled. So here is our hypotenuse, that's our C. We have our A and our B. So 5 squared is equal to 2 squared plus the square root of 21 squared. So 25 is equal to 4 plus the square root of 21 squared becomes 21. So 25 is equal to 25. So yes, therefore the triangle is right angled. Looking at example 3. Here we have a gate. We want to calculate the diagonal length of AC here. So here our gate is rectangular. So we have right angles in each corner. We know it's a rectangle, so we know this length is equal to this length. And this length here is equal to this length here. So we can work this out. We can look at our triangle ABC here. This length is this one, so here we have 1400 millimeters for this length here. Now we have 2 sides and our right angle. So we know here c squared equals a squared plus b squared. This is our C, we have our A and our B. So here our length AC squared is equal to 950 squared plus 1400 squared. To find our length AC, we need to take the square root of both sides, and we end up with the square root of 950 squared plus 1400 squared. Here we enter this into our calculator, 950 squared plus 1400 squared, and here we get 16 0.992 millimeters to the nearest millimeter.